Hey, everybody. Welcome to Squatch Talk. I'm Pat, and we are back tonight, back on the Tuesday night schedule. Thank God. I took apart the Mac, dried it out, cleaned it best I could, and put it back together. It was one stupid screwdriver, a pentalobe screwdriver. I had to order on Amazon, and once I got that screwdriver, I could actually take apart the Mac and put it back together, and it works. Thank God.
Well, wonders never cease.
So
That's very good.
and I'm happy to be back with my studio set up, ready to go right here, right now. How's everybody doing tonight? And tonight we got some cool guys, man, from Kark.
Clark.
You know, Kark, man.
The CARC.
Yeah. Yes, I know, but we have a bad habit. It's like my Daniel down there in Virginia, Ekbro.
Yeah.
That's what we call it. We call it Ekbro.
Ekbro.
Yeah. So anyway, man, we got the guys from the CARC, Catskill Appalachian Research Collective. Sorry.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Very good.
And the cool guys. You know, I met them back in probably December, I think, on a different show, and then we ran into each other a couple of weeks ago at the Bigfoot conference in Virginia. They had a presence there.
Had a blast.
Yeah, and it was and so we reconnected and hung out, and I was like, "Well, come on the show," and here they are. Welcome, Brendan and Sean. How you guys doing?
Excellent.
Very good. Thank you.
Waiting for the thunderstorm rolling in. We've been getting nailed with thunderstorms every night. It's been wet up here in New York in the Catskill Mountains, but it's been beautiful. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Same here in the Southeast. But yeah, man, it was I had a great time interacting with you guys at the Virginia Bigfoot Conference. It was cool to see you there. I didn't know you guys were going to be there, so it was kind of a surprise to me. And so to get to hang out in real life and shoot the shit and talk some Squatch, and
Yeah.
it was
Very
a lot of
nice.
fun. Share some drinks.
It was
Yes, we
weird.
did.
It's weird, when your internet world becomes reality at these shows and these conferences, is you meet people that you've known online and you've chatted with online, and you get to finally meet them, and it's a whole different ballgame. And it's kind of nice when you meet somebody like you, Pat, that actually stands up to what what our impressions were. We had a great time with you on the first show we did. We've talked here and there, and we met you in Virginia. We had a blast. I mean, I know I speak for Charlie, put the thing together. Our good friend Charlie, Chuck Larson, who does kind of our PR, he put the show together, and he talked to Sean and I and coming down, and we had a really good time, and it was great seeing you down there.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. And so, but before we get going here, like right off the bat, I want you guys, because you're a part of a collective on a YouTube channel. So if you could address this real quick, like where to find you guys on YouTube.
We work on the Beyond Explanation channel. So it's the Beyond Explanation channel on YouTube. The show is called From Behind Tall Trees. So it's not under the Catskill Appalachian Research Collective. The show is actually called From Behind Tall Trees, and it's on the Beyond Explanation channel on YouTube. So there you go, Raptor. You can find it there. I think we've done about 12 shows, not that many. We're fairly new to the live game, but we're getting the heck of it, right, Sean?
Definitely.
Yeah.
You're in the live game now.
Yeah, it's always I have to tell you honestly, right off the bat, it's much easier being on the guest side of the microphone than it is to be on the host side of the microphone, because I've never realized how much gosh darn reading you got to do. You got to, if you got a guest, you got to read their books. I've got more damn Bigfoot books on my shelves than I care to. I'm still behind. We got a guy coming on in a couple of weeks. I got to read his book for the second time, so it's much easier being on this side of the microphone.
Brendan does a hell of a job as a host. He does a tremendous job.
You go way, yeah, dude, Brendan, you go way further than me, man. I don't, I find cool people to bring on, and I'm a free for all. I'm an open book.
I
man.
wish I could do that. Yeah.
But some people, like, I mean, obviously, dude, when I had Meldrum on, like, I all that knowledge with Meldrum was already there,
right?
You know, and I've talked to Meldrum before and stuff like that, you know. But like when I brought Doug Hychek on, like I didn't know much of anything other than he was the producer of Monster Quest, you know. So I did have to do a little research with him and found some interesting things out that I could, you know, like on the fly talk about with him.
Right.
But yeah, I haven't read one book in preparation for Squatch Talk yet. So kudos to you, man. Good job. You're a thorough guy. So.
I'm trying, but you know what is? They all mesh together. Once you start reading so many books, you got the paranormal side, you got the woo, and then you got the what did Mike Merchant call you guys? The ape? What was it? What did he call you, Sean? Ape guy, monkey boy? What was it? He had a great derogatory term for the flesh and blood guys.
Well, I still believe the way I do, though. I mean, I still believe totally flesh and blood. I have seen until I see something where it disappears and I cannot debunk it with tall grass or trees to duck into, and it's an open area where it couldn't have gone anywhere. When all that happens, then I will have to concede that the paranormal woo is possible. Until that point, I am highly skeptical of the woo. And who knows? Maybe I would like to think Bigfoot exists, but maybe it doesn't even exist.
You know,
I think anything's possible still.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting, Sean and Brendan, that you bring that up. I actually watched that show last night, the Michael Merchant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
with his lovely wife. It was a great show.
Yeah, Lady K.
Yeah, Lady K.
Because I did want to like get some kind of like feel for the rhythm, because I wanted to. I remember, you know, talking with you guys on air the first time, and I went back to that. You know, that's what I was going to reference. You know, and unfortunately that show's been deleted. I don't know. You know, I don't know why.
Freaking asshole.
I mean, I guess
I had to drop all that one fast though.
Yeah.
So
I guess you guys were entertaining enough. You take it up with them. I don't have anything to do with that. I jest, of course.
Well, you didn't even know we had a show, right? You didn't.
No,
even
I knew you guys had a show on
you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. On that channel where you guys were a part of a conglomerate of shows.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, I was like, well, I got to watch something with these guys. And that was the one. And I loved it, dude. I love Michael.
Mike's a great guy. He really is. He's one of those, he's such an easy guest to have on because he's a super smart guy.
Yeah.
He's done a ton of weird, really cool shit when it comes to Bigfoot and other things. And he's one of those guys that you can just ask him a question and let the host let the guest take over the show is what you really want. You don't want to have to pull shit out of the guest the whole time because it's exhausting. You know, Pat, as you know, it's like when you have somebody that's a dry guest, it's like, God, we're only 5 minutes in and I got nothing to talk to this guy about. So Mike is not like that at all. Mike's a great guy.
He's a talker.
Think you should have him on your show. I think it'd be great.
Oh, yeah, I would love to, man.
I'll pass along his contact info.
Please do.
Oh.
Yeah, I would. I'd love to talk to him, and I'm sure the panel would too. Here, the panel guys aren't going to be here tonight, but usually, you know, I've got my panel guys. It just depends. It's all situational,
right?
You know? Yeah. But yeah, man, like that was a great show. So I enjoyed it and got a kind of remembered the cadence of how you guys work. But then again, we were all hanging out a couple of weeks ago, so.
Well, we just, you know, it's funny because with the show, it's weird because it's almost deceiving. Is at the conventions, that's Charlie's time to shine. He is the guy that can go talk. He'll talk to a fucking wall for fucking 45 minutes and have a great time. He'll talk to anybody. And seriously, and I just can't do that. I just can't go up to anybody and start talking to them. I need to have some sort of, you know. But Charlie's he's the guy that books all these shows. He put this show together as far as From Behind Tall Trees. He does the conferences. He's going out to Michigan. And he's found his niche in the collective. That's what he does. So kudos to Big Chuck. I know you're out there watching, getting ready for your show tonight, which is on at 9:00. tonight, right after this, you can do back to back with the CARC.
Yeah, I know. We might drop in on them.
Yeah,
We might.
I'd love to do that. We'll pop right in.
Yes.
Big Chuck and Mike are the best.
Oh yeah,
Like, yeah, chat and everything. Yeah, but yeah, dude. So what's so what is going on with you guys? You know, I saw the trailer you put out was really cool.
we have a new little mini movie. Not, I wouldn't say a mini movie, but it's a little vignette, which is a little 10 to 15 minute mini documentary that we filmed last fall. I've got the trailer here if you want to throw it up and play it.
Yeah, sure, man.
I'll drop it. I'll drop it.
Yeah.
It should be there now.
You no, it's not. I mean, it's not here for me to share. There it is. Yeah. Okay, so can you pause it and rewind it?
I think so. If I can start it again, hang on. There we go. All right.
And just leave it paused, and I'll bring it in, and then you have control over it.
Okay, you let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it in, and we're there. Unmute it. Is it muted?
It's unmuted.
Okay.
Yeah, it's unmuted.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we have coming out. That's going to be coming out late next week. I think I'll have it all finally put together, and we'll debut it on our Facebook group. But we've been working. Sean and I were working on it. Sean, you want to tell the backstory of what was going on with that?
Yeah, we were at Allegheny National Forest. We were probably 5 to 7, maybe 8 miles from any kind of main road. And we were way back in a good bit. We were on a fire road, that was actually the first time that we actually tried the idea of broadcasting, as I call it, into the air through a mini stereo amplifier from Bluetoothing recordings on a phone out into playing that calls out into the air that way. And it was
call blasting,
call blasting, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in the 3 o'clock hour, correct? Towards the beginning, we started getting some.
Yeah, it was a little after 3 o'clock. We had been there. We got there probably around 10:30, and we had moved a couple of positions. We had a team north of us up on a ridge. We had a couple of the guys. That's who you're hearing on the radio, and then we were down on a fire road on a cut called Sugar Run, which is a little type of creek that follows an old fire road that they put in. The Department of Forestry puts in, so if there's a fire, they can get the trucks in there. But there's nobody there. I think we're about 12 miles from any type of civilization, and the weather was pretty crappy. It was raining.
It was,
and so it was, and so we were call blasting, and we got some. I don't want to give away the punchline here, but we had some really amazing returns and some crazy shit that went on for quite a while that we captured on video, and we'll be putting out the end of next week. So I hope everybody will tune in and check that out.
Check it out. It's going to be really good.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean.
Right. You're welcome.
You guys have a Facebook group of the same name, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. The Catskill Appalachian Research Collective. Right.
And it's a public group.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's growing. We tend to, it's weird with these Facebook groups, and a lot of stuff is you can have a Facebook group of 7,000 people, but if those 7,000 people aren't doing anything to to advance the study of what you're trying to accomplish, then that really makes no sense of having those people on your group. So we've got a little under 400 people now, but they're 400 quality people that are posting and commenting and sharing stuff, and that really means a lot to me and the rest of the guys.
Yeah, I agree. It's the it's the smaller Facebook groups that I get the most action. And what I mean by that is where if I post something there, it'll be the most engaging, right?
Right.
So either through likes, usually likes and comments, like they both kind of go together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always the groups under 1,000 where I get the most action. I can post to a group that has 50,000 people in it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And get 2 likes, It's like,
wow.
Like, okay. Yeah.
Well, and what's the exciting thing about this now, and I've noticed is finally the people that have joined a lot of them are finally becoming comfortable enough in the group that they know that it's a collective, so they can post stuff and they're not going to be smearing anybody. We welcome all people. Like I said, I'm more of the paranormal woo guy. It doesn't mean I believe in ghosts and all that other shit, but which I think is weird because Sean, you look for ghosts. But
yes,
I
do.
But you don't believe in the paranormal.
I'm doing that Friday night. I'll be looking for ghosts.
Exactly. But so you can have, like if you look at the Coalition for Critical Thinking and Stephen Stroyford, who's a really good friend, he's got a great group, but it's a very critical group. And you better bring your A game if you're going to post anything on there. And you better have thick skin. Yeah, I'm in there and I love it. But you got to be pretty ready to go if you're going to post anything there. And you have to have very thick skin. But what's great, like I was saying back to our group, is people are finally feeling comfortable enough to start submitting stuff. We're getting leads as far as our investigations go. So the group is we're building a brand, which is the CARC, and we're very meticulous on that brand and how it goes. And so far, 2021 seems to be really turning out quite well for us.
Well, that's cool, man. And so as far as that goes, I mean, you guys are you're a little spread out, not much. You guys are all regional, with each other personally. So what are some of the areas that you like to be in? I'm just curious, like upstate New York, the Adirondacks, very, very remote areas up there, or parts of Pennsylvania or the Catskills themselves.
Sean, you want to take this one?
Yeah, we end up, we spent most of our time I'll just say we're in Bald Eagle State Forest. You got to watch because there is also a Bald Eagle State Park, but Bald Eagle State Forest towards central PA is where we spend most of our time. We've gotten some possible calls back there as well. So it seems like a great place. But also I like to say this, even if nothing happens, it's still just nice to be outside, and it's a beautiful area, and great to get out in the woods.
I agree.
That's got to be the number one reason, no matter what, because you got to do it because you like the outdoors.
Yes, I love the outdoors. So have you guys thought about going up into the Adirondacks? Whitehall.
Well,
right?
we're going up to the Whitehall, the convention of the fest, Whitehall Fest or whatever it's called up there this year. We're going to have a presence. We're going to have a table. We're going to have our merch, our dope ass shirts. You rocking a shirt tonight? I see there, Pat. Check it out.
Very nice. Very nice. Bravo.
And I've got one on too. So we're going to be up there doing that. We're going to enter Charlie in the call contest. I'm going to put him in the Bigfoot calling contest, and then Mike. I'm going to have Mike. Mike's going to be working out. We're going to be doing some reconnaissance and some investigations a little bit farther away from where people are. There's going to be a lot of people up there, but we'll be up there. The thing about the Adirondacks for us though is it's such a haul for Sean. It's such a long distance for him. So we try.
I am not trying to make it though. I'm sorry.
I'm saying why we don't go up there more is what I'm trying to get at. Is so we kind of do the New York southern tier, which is the Pennsylvania border. We do the Delaware Water Gap, and then down through Pennsylvania with not just because Sean lives there, but because there's so much freaking open space in Pennsylvania as far as wildlife and state game lands. There's a lot of public land there and a lot of deep forest that I didn't really realize until we started doing this investigation, and it's kind of the middle ground for all of us. So that's why we really get to most of the Pennsylvania stuff.
Right. And that, yeah, that, I mean, you're right. You could pick a direction really and go be in a good remote area. But I know, like up there, up in the deep Adirondacks, man, it gets super remote up there.
And I've got a big SUV, and Sean can attest to this. We try to get that thing as far in there because it's kind of our command base center. It's a big SUV, and we got everybody crammed in there with all our gear and all our technical stuff. So we've got kind of a moving, command post. And trust me, we're gonna get up there. I know Mike Lucci, who's pretty much our field guy, or the young guy of the group that can get out there. I really try to make a really concerted effort to get up there. And Pat, if you come up, we'd be more than happy to take you up there.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, it's funny you said that. I lived in Lake George for almost a year. It was a long time ago. But my best friend Sean.
Sean, your best friend?
Sean, we've been friends for a long time.
SHAWN. He lives in Lake George still, and so I try and visit up there once every year or two. COVID's kind of screwed that up recently, but so I could easily find myself planted right in Lake George, dude. Right there next to Whitehall, but off to the deep Adirondacks. I have yet to be able to really, like, as a Bigfoot guy, if you will, take advantage of that because I haven't even been up there probably in 4 years. So,
hey, look, you got a comment on your haircut there, dude. Somebody loves your haircut.
Who?
Pat? I don't know. It says rockin' haircut, Pat. Somebody said, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh, Anon. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were just talking about his dope ass haircut before the show. So I'm glad that fucking Anon noticed it. But I'm hoping that we're hoping that this fall, because the fall is the best time for us to go out. The weather's crisp and cool. I think when we did the Sugar Run Howl, it was October, the first week of October. If we can get a decent fall, like the end of September through, I think we almost went to halfway through November last year in the Delaware Water Gap. So that gives us almost 10 weeks of investigating, and I'd like to hit it hard, this fall. So yeah, I really want to try to get up there when the weather is cooler.
That's the time to do it, man. I mean, I also like being down here in Georgia. Like I love the fall, but the thing about here is I could go all the way through the winter. Yeah,
but you're sweating your balls off in August, aren't you? Isn't it just miserably hot in that time?
No. I'm saying I through fall, I could do the fall, right? Mm-hmm. But I can go through the winter as well. Whereas you guys, man, that's more, man, it's not easy to get up in the Adirondacks in the winter.
We had a brutal winter this year too. I mean, we had the snow came and it stayed.
It stays. I mean, it always stays, dude. That's the first time I ever saw a frozen lake was the first time I went. Yeah, because dude, lakes don't freeze down here, bro.
That's true.
They don't. So the first, like Lake George, you could drive cars over it, dude.
We do that here with our trucks, rice fishing. Yeah.
So the wintertime up there is really tough to be out in the woods. So you have that night comfortable, fall time, but it's a narrow window.
Right, and you lose a good amount of time when deer season is because you really don't want to be out in deer season. So you're kind of you lost that. You're losing the first couple weeks of December. And then, so even if the weather's nice, you're really not going to be running out in the woods that time of year. You'd just be an idiot.
Yeah. But the summers aren't so bad up there. That's the thing. Like I remember being up in upstate New York, dude, I couldn't go swimming in the summer because the water was always too freaking cold. Like I'm used to bathtub water in the summer,
and tepid bathtub water.
Yeah. But then again, see, that's the other thing, man, up there with the hardwoods, in the summertime, it's thicker, but in the wintertime, it's a lot thinner, so, or at least the fall, because you guys get that nice early fall where the canopy drops before it starts
Up
here.
that far north, it does. It does start dropping probably it's beautiful crimson and gold and yellow colors in the first week of October, and then by the end of October, the leaves up that far north are pretty much done and starting to fall. Down where Sean is, though, they kind of last a little bit longer. Fall sets in a little bit later, I think, right, Sean?
Latter part of October, where I'm in my neck of the woods.
Right. But that's a good month before the canopy drops here.
Right.
I believe it, yeah.
Yeah. So is that something you guys think about when, in that window that you get of the most comfortable, like good time, but you also get that canopy drop, which gives you more visibility. You take that into consideration?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we try to get out. I've been banged up physically this year, so I wasn't able to get out as early. But I mean, Sean and Mike was chomping at the bit to get out. I think he wanted to go the second week of April, right? He was trying to get out in the woods. So to get there before the canopy comes and not only before it drops. And especially if you're flying drones, we were talking about drones before, is we haven't been able to. We'll have a drone this fall, or probably in about 6 weeks, our first thermal drone. We're making an investment for the group. So that's a big thing. You can't really flying a thermal drone at night. You're really going to stick to the cornfields and stuff. You really can't see anything, as you know, Pat. You're a big drone guy. But this fall, that thing will be up in the air as long as I can put it up in the air. And we'll be scanning, as they say, mowing the lawn and trying to get cover as much ground as we can.
And I want to. I would continue on that thought, but I want you guys to address this real quick because this is funny to me. If you could just address this real quick, Brandon. Like, what? Huh? I don't know how this came up in chat, but no.
Yeah, I don't know if Todd Standing even knows who we are. Why? I would like to Feldon. I'd like to know where you got that. And I would imagine that Todd. Why wouldn't Todd Standing support the CARC? I mean, Jesus, we have everything you need in a Bigfoot group, right? One-stop shop.
It's you're not like you don't seem to be like a huge fan of Todd Standing.
No, here's the thing is every here's the problem with Todd is, I mean, Todd, you got to give him credit. I'll filibuster about Todd for a second because I've got a lot of thoughts about this guy. I've tried to get him on the show, and he hasn't gotten back to me. And he's got people that you have to go through, which really aren't people. They're kind of friends that act like people. He does get out in the woods. I mean, he goes deep and he gets out there up in the Canadian Rockies up there in the Nordig area, I think it is. So you got to give him credit to get out there. The thing is let's say, besides the puppets, we all know the puppets or whatever they are. But if let's say just for one instance, and I'm not saying it is, but if Todd Standing's video evidence was actually authentic and it got shit on, and I'm not saying it is, got shit on as much as it does, there's no way in chance nobody else's evidence is ever going to be held up. So, the guy is passionate about, he's batshit crazy, I think. I think we can all agree about that.
There's something going on there.
But I think he's entertaining, and I would love for him to come on our show. I think I would love to pick his brain. I mean, we had MK Davis on, and I had a chance to take a couple swings at him. But that's what the show's about. The show's not about, we can't all have Bob Gimlin on the show, the big happy cowboy or Jeffrey or Don Meldrum. We can't have those guys all the time. There has to be the other side of the fence. And Todd Standing represents the other side of the fence. And Standing is, yes, all about standing.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I wish trust me, if he joins our group, I'll tell everybody. I'll say, endorsed by Todd Standing. Wink.
All right. So what drone have you settled on?
I haven't settled on anything yet. We were talking about it, and I believe you know more about drones than I do. I was thinking about getting a Parrot. The Parrot thermal drone, I think, is probably, from what I hear, a better product. I don't know. I haven't done the research. I haven't really gotten into that deep. I was hoping to pick your brain about it. We do have a friend that has a Parrot, but unfortunately, I haven't seen it in action enough. Sean would probably be able to speak a bit about that. Talking about Jim's drone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know. I can tell you, we really haven't used the thermal part of it much during Bigfoot expeditions. We did use it around a paranormal house we did. We shot thermal around that. But most of the time we've used his drone during Bigfoot expedition has been just for minor light filming. It's all we've really used it for, not thermal, not on a thermal basis.
Yeah.
Right, just for the sort of B-roll.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we actually got some really good flyover stuff that we did that we're using for Devil's Road series, which is another thing that we're working on. But yeah, and trust me, if I get one, that thing will be in the air as much as I can put it in the air, because I think it's really going to lend a lot to the investigation. Plus, it looks pretty freaking sexy when you put it on TV. You know, if you get the footage right.
Yeah,
That's the director in me. You know.
Yeah, no, I like the Parrot. You know, as far as like any like that level of platform, the Parrot would be the best one.
Right. I mean, our funds are limited, so
yeah, bang for your buck. You know, if you're looking for a $2,000 thermal drone, the Parrot is where I would land that money, 100%. And the other thing I like about the Parrot, I mean, the Parrot, it's extremely agile, very precise. You can actually fly it under the canopy, so you don't just have to put it above, you know, and kind of look around your surroundings. You could fly that thing through the canopy if it were sparse enough, let's say,
right,
you know, and really like sort of like reach out and touch Bigfoot.
Well, that's the thing is I want to check into a lot of these have the obstacle avoidance software, and I really want to run that through the gamut first before I get cool. One. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if the Parrot does or not. I would say for that price, it probably does. But man, look, if you look at like racing drones and stuff like that, I mean, if you're a good enough pilot, you don't need like you can visually skirt, you know, back and forth in between the trees. And
well, we're going to cross that
level of pilot. You have to
cross that imaginary bridge when we get to it. That's what Les Strauss did, though. Is Les Strauss? You know, when he was going out to do his Survivor Man, you know, he foots the bill, and then the company pays the channel, Discovery Channel, pays him back. And the drone operator was like $3,000 a day. You know, for the drone operator and his equipment. Mm-hmm. And what he did is he bought like I think 5 or 6 $800 drones, hired his nephew at like $100 a day, and then just had his nephew come and follow him and shoot drone footage. And then if he crashed the freaking thing in the water, he crashed the thing in the water. It's $800. It's not, you know, it's not the end of the world. So there's a lot of different applications. I think I will probably get a cheap throwaway to do a lot of daylight, really cool daytime running around with it, and then get the more expensive one for nighttime, high canopy in the fall to try to just get out there and see what's out there. You know, I wish we would have had it. If we would have had it in the Allegheny with the sugar run, we would have answered us so many questions, because the thing was right on top of us. It wasn't that far away, and we just couldn't see where it was because of the ridge. And had we had that thing and gotten something up over into the lumber where the lumber had been clear cut, where we were the following night, nothing happened, we really would have answered a lot of questions.
That would be something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I call it air superiority.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's the most powerful tool that could ever be used against this phenomenon.
Well, I think it's that, and I think that and trail cams will be if there's something out there to be found, right? If there is a creature out there that can be captured on film, right? It'll be a drone or a trail cam because there's I think there's 3.5 million drone trail cams in the United States, or 30. There's a ridiculous amount of trail cams in the United States, and then the drone market is growing leaps and bounds, and they're becoming so point and click and auto land and auto take off and auto obstacle avoidance. So you're going to have everybody and their mother flying this stuff all over the place. And I think that's what will locate if there's something out there to be found.
Yeah, the drones they're not extremely hard to pilot.
Now they are. They're point and shoot, right? I mean, they're pretty
sort of. It's just that the only thing, like for you, Brendan, like what I'll say is like the hard part is getting like the videography, like the smooth, butter smooth cinematography. But we're not looking for that with Sasquatch, obviously.
I'm also Sean will tell you that I'm also
Yeah.
looking for that too. If it doesn't show up on film, I can't show it to somebody else. So if it doesn't film sexy, I can't show it to somebody else.
If you kept capture a Sasquatch, it didn't matter if the drone jerked a little bit on the shot, yeah.
What drives me crazy is when you have a great shot and then the drone operator will stop and try to recenter everybody like it's a high school yearbook photo. It's like, just do the flyby and just keep going. You don't have to stop and center it, but it's a learning process, and we're all new at this, so we're trying to figure it out, and we're getting lucky with some of the nice stuff we've been able to capture, and hopefully some of the films we'll be putting out soon.
Yeah, and that's cool, man. So where will that stuff land? I mean, what are your plans with that production?
Well, I could talk on the Sean knows I could talk at length about the production side of the coin here with the CRCs. So we'll back up real quick, and I'll run through this because I probably said this a million times, especially on our shows. When we started the Catskill Appalachian Research Collective, I was very particular about doing production company and investigation company. If you investigate and you can't reproduce that or give that evidence to anybody in a nice package that people will watch, you're really just doing it for a hobby, right? That's what it is. It's a hobby. Right now, what we're doing is we're working to build content. I'm very picky about what I put out and what I release to the public, because once it's out there, it's out there. So I've got my Premiere Pro. I've got so many films. These guys go out. They'll send me the footage. Sometimes I'll go out and I'll edit and I'll shoot some footage of myself with the guys. Eventually, this will all roll into either a streaming platform like Amazon, Roku, Hulu, something like that eventually. For the time being, everything will premiere on our Catskill Appalachian Research Collective first, and then a week later we will share it to everybody else, and then eventually that'll all suck down once we have enough into a YouTube channel, and then the YouTube channel will go to the streaming platform. So we're doing little steps.
Okay.
It's all about building the brand and the brand awareness of the CRC, and that's what this little sticker and logo and thing is and so very very particular about that. And Sean will attest to my anal retentiveness when it comes to even the color green.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
It's copywritten. I copywrote that color green in our LLC. So it's in our corporation. It's a color that so I'm very retentive with the branding, and I believe that's important. And I think a lot of people miss that with their groups. Is if you want people to respect your work, or maybe if you don't give a shit about what people care about with your work, then that's fine. I do. I care about what our brand puts out, and I think I picked a bunch of guys that care the same way. But that's how it'll all work out eventually in a perfect world. Sorry, I talked a lot.
No. And to that, I say this, which might surprise people, but shouldn't, is that there's nothing wrong with production in the Bigfoot world, to me.
There's not enough of it. I mean,
There's
talked
not.
about that.
Yeah.
If you go to Amazon and look at the amount of minutia that you have to watch, we talked about that, Pat, on the phone last night with the documentaries that are on just Amazon Prime alone. There must be at least 3 or 4 dozen, and some of them are really hard to watch, man.
Yeah.
No.
And again, like, my whole thing with production when it comes to Bigfoot is, like, me personally, I'm like, I could tell, like, what's a good right idea and what's bad one, which might even be so the incentive to hoax or exaggerate or do a docu-series that isn't based in reality, where what I mean, it's just a lot of convoluted stuff going on. You don't really know. I'm more about, as long as it's real, I love it. I love production about the Bigfoot phenomena. I love it as long as it's real.
And that's the thing, is like, if I baked you a cake, right? I baked a delicious vanilla cake, and I just gave you the freaking cake with no icing on it. I said, here's the cake. And then I took the same cake and I put nice icing on it and some candles and said, happy freaking birthday. It's still the same cake underneath, but I dressed it up. It's like dressing up, I dressed it up to make it more appealing. And if you want people to take in your product, you got to make it, sitting around in the woods for 6 hours, which is pretty much with nothing happening. Isn't that fun to watch? So you have to kind of spice it up a little bit. Over embellish and lie, hoax, no, that's not the case. And if we're going to do a reenactment, we will clearly state that there's a reenactment for dramatic purposes. Right. But we're not going to be, and that's the stuff. But you have to, in this day and age, at least where I see us coming from, and I want you to watch it, and I want you to go, damn, that was pretty freaking good. I like that. That was cool. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't have a problem with production in the Bigfoot world. It's something that I want to get into and start doing myself. So, it's not an issue to me, man. And it's not about money, except for, look, if you're gonna try and present something, what it costs money to do that. So.
It takes hundreds of hours of editing to put one small little thing together. For me, that's a lot of time, and if down the road we can monetize that, that's not a sin. That's just being a smart person, But again, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We talked about, the other thing is with the collective is, and that's important about it's a research collective is, we're beginning now to work with other groups, and I'm going to be doing some editing and some editing of other people's projects to kind of dress it up. Because when we were at the show, if you remember, Pat, we had our little screen up and I was playing the videos, and I got a lot of, people have hit me up as far as, hey, can you edit this for us? Can you do this for us? And that's another great thing is that's a part of the production group, is that falls under the umbrella, because I'm not going to charge anybody to do that. If something down the road comes of it, then we'll talk then. But we're all on the same team here, so we should all pull together and not be hoarding our information. We should be sharing it and the knowledge as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. What kind of information is being hoarded, though? I don't know. Areas. People don't like to.
Oh, God.
Area
X. You got to come. You can't come to Area X. We got to tell you where it is. It's our secret zone. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. That whole BFRO thing, it's funny. Is I've got a great guest coming on our show in a couple of weeks, Joe Gazzondi. He's a University of Illinois. He's a professor of journalism, and he went out and he wrote a book. He wrote the book called Monster Trek, which is here. But he went out and he did a couple of the BFRO expeditions, but he didn't sign the NDA. He didn't sign the huge non-disclosure agreement that they send, which is crazy because if you've read the thing, it's like Matt Moneymaker has the right to use everything, this, that, he owns. You can't say anything about anything. And he didn't sign it. And it was a huge thing. And they're threatening to sue the guy because he wrote the book. The book's about going on these expeditions and what they're really like. But so people like that, they hoard their information. It's so ridiculous. I mean, I can understand if you have a person that we go to a person's property and that person does not want them to us to share that information. That's on them, right? So we'll respect their privacy. We're not going to tell everybody where it is because of that person. But if we, there's just for an example, there's some groups when I send out the invites to watch these shows, right? Or I send out the trailer that we did. Also, there's a couple groups I send it to. They won't even post it, because they consider it recruiting. Like we're in the business of recruiting other people away from other groups because I have enough time in the day to do that. That's hoarding to me, is they have their, and that's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I understand it in some circumstances. Like people don't want other people to come out there and mess with them or try and hoax them. If let's say if they're in a specific area, so I sort of get that.
How many people do you really think are going to come out and do that? I mean,
I don't think any.
Sean, what do you think?
I understand.
You're awful quiet there, Sean.
I understand how the brain works. Yeah. Go ahead,
Well, yeah,
Sean.
I agree. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
No, go ahead.
I agree. For the most part, even if you tell everyone in the world where you're going, for the most part, usually we're traveling at least a couple hours away. For someone to just pull a stunt like that, that's a nice little drive just to take and pull a stunt. Yeah, I think you have to worry more about like where we were this past weekend. If there'd be someone at a cabin down the way, which that was a possibility. We thought we heard some voices at times, and another campsite. But from people knowing that we were going there for that purpose, not likely.
Yeah, I mean, we don't broadcast. We don't tell people, or at least I don't tell people why I'm there.
I haven't either.
I never do that because then you're inviting somebody to a public campground, or if you're in Bald Eagle, which is a public campground, really for the all intents and purposes, you're just inviting trouble. But to say that you can't go there because this is my spot, that's ridiculous. I will tell you, we got the Sugar Run Hal on Fire Road and Sugar Run Road right in the middle of the Allegheny National Forest. If you can find it, go at it and have at it. That's exactly where it was. I'll drive you there myself. I really don't care.
That's that. The coordinates you just gave would not be that hard to find.
Exactly. It's not. And I'll tell you where it is. I mean, that's not a big deal,
Yeah.
Does that mean that next time we go there, there's going to be 500 cars? We'll cross that imaginary bridge when we get to it. I don't think that's going to be the case.
Not from this show.
Yeah. hey, we got mass draw, dude, especially down there in Central PA.
Oh yeah.
I'd just be like happy there was one car. Like, oh hey, what's up? Yeah, like,
no,
come on.
It won't happen. And plus, that's the thing is, we were the only. I think Sean will attest. When we were in the park, the time of year we were there, and the weather was pretty dodgy, we didn't see a single car. It's a place where if a car's coming, you can hear it because it's dead silent. So you can hear anybody coming from any direction. So,
well, Patrick says, I'm not sure who this guy is. I don't know. He must be a new subscriber. I feel responsible for the safety of individuals I research or take on. Yeah, only vetted people allowed.
No, I agree. I completely agree with you 110% on that, Patrick. I'm not saying open invite. I'm just saying I'm not going to stop somebody from investigating their own time at that spot. I'm not going to hoard where that event happened to myself and say, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to tell you where it is. And if you want to go there on your own, I'm going there on your own. When we do our investigations, we don't tell people where we're going at the time. And we don't invite anybody unless it's we just don't invite anybody, to tell you the truth, except for the small production crew, because we don't want to have the contamination. So there might have been a misunderstanding there, but that's what I actually meant.
Oh no, he's just voicing his own opinion. I mean, I actually I said all that in jest. I know Patrick very well, and where he's at, dude, it's more of a safety issue in his mind, So he's not just going to start telling people, hey, if you go to these GPS coordinates, you'll have a Bigfoot experience. Like he doesn't want that for them because
right. And that's impossible if you're saying that. And that's the other thing with the BFRO is they guarantee, if they're guaranteeing things happening, and you're paying like $300 a pop to go. And that seems
really guaranteeing things?
Well, that's what they say. Well, they don't guarantee, but in all intensive purposes,
it comes across that way.
It comes across that way.
Well, if you're paying, what do you expect? I mean, hey, if I'm paying that much money to go somewhere for that reason, I would think that, I would expect something to happen.
I mean, I wish I could charge $600 a person, get away with it, but I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Because anytime you charge somebody, you're charging admission and you're performing a service, there's pressure to get repeat customers, right? So if somebody buys a ticket and nothing happens, then why would they come back? And a lot of them say, well, it's just we like to hang out with our friends. It's all our friends and stuff like that. Maybe it is for some. But I'm not going to pay $150 or $300 to sit around with 12 strangers and eat hot dogs around a campfire. I want to see what they got to offer. So, but that's just a different way of doing business, and that's not how we And Todd Standing does charge a lot of money. I know I've seen that there. Feldon's quite active, but Todd Standing does charge a lot of money. So good for him. I mean, it's to get you out there where he is. It's probably it's not the easiest place to get.
Right, and he has Gorilla Gloves in the back of his.
I saw that video. I did see that video.
So yeah, I'm torn. I mean, as a capitalist, I'm like, hey, if it's a free exchange of goods and services, that's all it is. But if you're putting speakers out in the woods or you're planning people to make noises, that's fraud.
Well, of course, that's of course that's not what we're about at all.
No, I know that's not what you guys are about. I'm just talking in general. Anybody that wants to charge for an expedition, and if they feel like they have to deliver on it, do they have a backup plan?
I don't know.
Some whoops and knocks.
Yeah, and I think I have a tendency to believe that might be going on. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to talk to this guest, and I hope you watch the show because
definitely.
He's a super smart guy. He's got no skin in the game. He's not a Bigfoot fan at all. He just did it as a research and to write a book. But I really want to see what his takeaway was outside the book, because I'm sure he has some things that he did want to put in print.
Yeah, I agree, dude. That sounds like an interesting guest for sure.
I also do have a team member who's going to do one of the BFRO things in northwestern PA in September. So I can see what happens on her expedition. I know she's already paid and signed up for it and everything. So
really, And where is it? What part of the country?
They can't tell you.
I believe it's northwestern PA. It's definitely western.
Okay,
it could be southwestern. That part I'm not sure on.
I think it's up in Elk County. If it's up northwestern PA, I think
it might be Elk County. Yeah, which would be a good spot to try, though. That's a good isolated area.
That's where I've been trying to get us to go. I'd love to get us up there, but it's easier said than done. There's so many places that we want to go, and there's so little time because we have day jobs. We actually have to pay the bills.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It makes it possible to be able to do it, though. If it wasn't for the day jobs, we wouldn't be able to do this, though, as well.
I know we're not getting all that big Discovery Plus subscription money that Russ Accord gets,
That'd be nice, though.
You're gonna get a bunch of haters now. I know. I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding. That's the other thing is people need to take a breath. Right. People get so fucking pissed off. I'm sorry for swearing, but yes, if I saw Bigfoot and I had a gun, I would shoot the thing. Done. You think that would be a simple statement to make, right, Pat?
Yep.
No, it lights a firestorm every time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you don't know what you're getting in for.
It's gonna light one right now, probably.
Bring it on. Light it up, dude. Let's go. Let's get that chat with comments coming. Bring it on. It's the same thing. It's just people just fight over that. It's just so ridiculous. It's just oof.
I agree. I don't. I mean, my position is that I don't encourage people to go out in the woods and try and kill a Bigfoot. That's irresponsible to take that position. To say, hey, you guys, you go out in the woods, you should try and kill one. Like, to me, that's sort of where it ends. If
I'm deer hunting, though, right, and I'm in a tree stand, and this thing walks in front of me, right, I'm gonna fucking shoot it. If I can see it in the daytime and I can tell it's an ape, whatever the hell it is, I'm going to pull the trigger. And I'm not the only person in the country that will do that, but I at least have the balls to say it. And I'm not saying I'm going to carry a gun and go looking for the thing and hunt it like Bigfoot hunting season. But if it's there and the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to put one right here, or at least try. So
sure.
So don't hate me.
And,
that's carc.brendanb@gmail.com.
Yeah, you guys take it up with him, not me.
Yes, exactly. What's that?
My show's an open book. People can say whatever they want, as long as they're not shitting down my throat.
Yes, comments to the guests don't necessarily recommend residuate the host or whatever that is.
I'm not necessarily in favor of it either. As well, let me add that as well.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I would do. I've never seen one. To be honest with you, I don't ever want to see one like up close. I doubt I would point my gun at it.
Do you have a gun? Do you hunt?
Yeah, I don't hunt, but I do. I'm an armed American patriot, so yeah, I got guns.
Nice.
But the weird thing is, man, is that I had a wood knock encounter, and when I was in my tent one night, and when I got out of my tent, I did not take my gun with me, and to this day, I couldn't tell you why. Like, I don't know why, but I got out of the tent and I did not take the gun. So it was kind of a weird primal situation, but I didn't think to ever get the firearm involved. It was kind of strange.
That's weird. It's you bring it. That's the same thing with people, like when and this is not to the apples and oranges here, but like people that have recorders and stuff and are going to hear something, but they don't feel the need to bring their recorder with them and turn it on. It's just the moment gets away from a lot of people. And I believe I'm only human, so my bite or my bark might be bigger than my bite, right? But yeah, I think the moment like that got away from you, and that's not abnormal. I don't think, honestly, You're living in the moment. You're not.
I agree.
You're not fucking Steven Seagal and fucking Under Siege.
I agree, but see, I've been Steven Seagal. That's the thing. It's kind of weird. Is that on a different night, I had a coyote come too close to camp one night.
Just one?
It's just the one I heard.
Oh.
And it came way too close. I mean, it had to have been within 20 yards of camp, and it opened up its full range of vocals. And man, I came out of that tent, dude, so freaking fast with my gun. I mean, I was gonna blow its fucking brains out.
A 32-pound dog.
I know, but I wanted to kill it.
Why?
How dare you? How dare you come this close to my camp? It must, for whatever reason, the wind or something, it didn't know I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, because the second I opened the zipper, it was gone.
Of course.
Yeah. But I had that gun in my hand. I was gonna shoot it as fast as I could. But not with that wood knock thing, man. I left that gun just laying there in the tent, got out of the tent. It was kind of bizarre. I don't know. It was a weird primal experience is the best way I could describe it.
Somehow maybe you just didn't feel threatened somehow. Possibly.
It was weird.
Strange.
It was kind of frightening.
I would love
to
be. We talk about this all the time when we're out there, because Sean and I have an enormous amount of free time when we're out in the woods together to spark up little conversations here and there. And I would love to have that adrenaline rush of being terrorized in the woods, being scared out of my wits. I just haven't had it. I've grown up in the country. I spent an enormous amount of time in the woods as a kid. I traveled for a while. I'm back where I came from. So I'm very comfortable in the woods and I like it, but I would love to have an opportunity like that. And I think that, everybody, they say people come to Bigfoot for a reason, right? Everybody comes to if you believe in Bigfoot or you're struggling to find out the secret behind Bigfoot, there's always an event or in your life that triggers that. And Pat, we talked about that. There's always a death in the family or a divorce or a fucked up childhood. There's something missing in everybody's life that Bigfoot fills that niche outside of the scientific curiosity. And I'm no exception to the rule. And I think part of it is I would love to have that encounter of being like, what was that? And I think that's just, I don't know. Sean, what do you think? Wouldn't you live for that? No.
Never really thought about it too much. If I get scared sometime, I get scared. I took going back to Sugar Run How. You said shit right in the middle of the record.
Yeah, I was shit.
Afterwards. I said calmly. I think I might have overreacted at the time, but I said I think this is what we were looking for. Now, I wasn't sure that I wasn't overreacting temporarily at the heat of the moment, but
it took us both by such surprise.
Oh yeah,
because we had been out there blasting for a while, and the film is edited because you don't want to see us playing with the fucking radio for 3 hours. But it took us by such surprise that it was the one time I took the camera down, put it down, and just let him record it because it was raining. I didn't want to get my film rig wet. And that's sure as shit. That's the one time right after that it blew up. And luckily we had digital recorders and other stuff running to record it, because otherwise it would have been just us telling you the story without the evidence. You know, so right. And that was an aha moment for me and Sean. It was like, huh? A lot of fun. It was good times, and I'm hoping that we can you know, lightning seldom strikes twice, and we, for the amount, I mean, some people spend their whole lives in the woods and never hear anything, right?
I would imagine.
And we've been lucky to have fairly decent evidence that might turn out to be nothing, but at least we've had something that we can present to our group.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. It just seems to be like where you go, like people, dude, they can go their whole lives without ever seeing a Bigfoot. And then, you know, there's some people that have seen them 4 or 5 times, like legitimately, you know, legitimately.
Well, that's the thing too, is that some people, it's like I've seen it 5 or 6 times and this and that. It's like, well, you know, I don't know.
There's not a lot of that, but it happens. I promise you, it does happen. You know,
I would love to talk to those people. We do have a lady that's coming on our show. I feel like I'm plugging our show, and I apologize for that, Pat. But I'm trying to relate some of the stories.
I've got perfectly acceptable here.
A lady that is coming on our show that lived out in Washington, and she had to move for property. She had to move from her house because of what was going on at her house, and she has evidence that she's given me that I'm like, that I'm saving for the show. And this lady is a normal, everyday, mid-50s lady, got a kid, no skin in the game, not a Bigfoot fan, and they had to move their house. So there are exceptions to that, of course. And I'm hoping that our path will eventually lead us to being able to capture some of that for our group.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like you, dude. Like I've always been skeptical of like people, you know, people that claim multiple interactions or casual. Like I'm still not the casual thing. The casual interactions, like Janice Carter, I ain't buying all that, you know. But I think there are anomalies where the right person in the right situation can have multiple encounters. I've come to know that personally, dude, coming from that uber skeptical, like that just didn't happen. You know, like I used to be that guy. Like,
and that's tough at the conference. It's the same way. You talk to somebody, right? And they're telling you a story, and you know, as soon as they start, they're way the fuck out there.
Oh yeah, no, you know? that for sure.
And then some people you talk to them, and they're right as rain. They're just like, you would never point them out or pick them out to be a person that had some sort of experience. And there's nothing. They're not looking for any gain. They've got no motivation to do this. So if they're making it up, I don't know why. So are they telling the truth? Maybe. And then, yeah, like you said, that's great. And we're hoping to find somebody that's credible like that and get that on film.
So, yeah, me too.
Very nice. Very nice.
Everybody, I think everybody is. Yeah.
Me too. But yeah, it's you know, it's tough. It can be very tough waters to navigate in the Bigfoot world. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's not pretend otherwise. You know, it's not sticky. Rainbows and butterflies, man. It's tribal. It's tribal. There's tons of cherished beliefs. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a ton of hoaxing. These are hard waters to navigate, wouldn't you say?
Well, it's you. I have very thick skin, so nothing really gets to me. It doesn't bother me as maybe it might bother somebody else. But yeah, it's incredibly rocky waters to navigate, and that's why Charlie, like I said, Chuck Larson does a lot of our PR work and a lot of our reaching out to people that have experiences, because he's can listen to them, and I'm going to roll my eyes and all this other stuff, where he'll take it and listen to them and give them, you know, the respect they deserve. Of course, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I just have an easier time calling bullshit than he does. So Charlie will nurse that relationship, which is great, and then that'll turn into something that we'll hopefully investigate. Sean has been doing it a little bit longer than I have, and Sean, it's a completely confusing situation with the Bigfoot community. Am I correct?
Oh yeah, I mean, people, like, we were there at the conference, and there were a couple people told. I heard some off the wall stories, and like you said, Chuck is the best at really kind of schmoozing with all kinds of people.
He's very courteous. He's a very nice guy.
I would, from all the stuff I've done, I'd tend to hear someone saying some of the stuff that seems way out there, and I'd kind of be thinking, how the hell can I get away from this person? That would be my immediate reaction.
It's those damn Dogman people.
Yes.
Oh. It's a run on Dogman this year, man. Have you noticed that, man? Everybody's seeing Dogman.
Well, things trend in the Bigfoot world.
Dogman is trending, right? Yeah.
And Dogman trends in and out of the Bigfoot world. But I have a theory. I don't know if you've heard it. They're nothing more than escaped kangaroos.
I would believe that if I was in Australia. But there was one guy that was at the thing, and I won't say his name because I don't remember his name, but he said, yeah, I saw a dog man. It ran across on all fours. So I go, so you saw a dog? It was like it ran across. It looked like a dog. And so where did the man come from? If it was just a big dog that ran across the road and it ran across on all fours, what makes it a dog man? I just didn't understand that, where the brain goes with that. But I could be missing something. If anybody knows what I'm missing, email Sean.
Thank you.
That's carc.seanw@gmail.com.
At Gmail.
SEAN as well. Make sure
Gmail,
you spell it right.
Sean, yes, Sean at gmail.com. Yes, I've had my struggles with that. I don't know. There's not a lot to that, but it's not on the level of Bigfoot sightings, like normal. Say normal Bigfoot sightings, whatever.
It depends who you ask, right?
But I don't know. I mean, are people seeing Bigfoots that have some kind of snout? It's just, the Bigfoot thing's hard enough to tackle
without Ed the dog man,
without jumping into,
yes.
That whole thing. And then, 20 other cryptids that are behind it as well.
I had this picture. Let me see if I can find it. You keep talking. I'm going to see if I can pull up this picture that I sent. I got sent from somebody. I might have deleted it. I think I deleted it. Because it was a picture of, I shouldn't even mention it because it was a picture of somebody sent me of a dog man, and it was, I don't think I have it. No, I don't have it. Sorry. I hate to bring things up and then not come through.
That's all right.
I tell my guys that all the time. Don't mention something unless you can't bring it up on the show. I just did that. Sorry.
I tend to believe there are probably a lot of them are Bigfoot misidentified. Makes more sense to me than Dogman. Which, does it mean I'm right? No, it doesn't. It just means that's my guess and opinion.
But you're allowed to have your opinion.
That's true.
Right. You're allowed to, because we're not going to shut you down because it doesn't mesh with our opinion.
That's a
very important fact with our group is just because I don't agree with you, it's okay if I poke fun at you a little bit, because you can poke fun at me a little bit.
Definitely,
as long as we're not being malicious. Yes, of course. And that's why everybody that comes into the group, I think Peyton's on fire there, huh? That question?
Yeah, he is.
But yeah, as long as you're not being malicious, it's okay to have fun with the thing, because that's what we're all here for, right? We're all here to be entertained and do this. And if we stumble across the fucking Bigfoot along the way, well, hell, let's just better for it.
Which would be awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of. You think about it over the years since the 50s. There's been a lot of brilliant people. Grover Krantz, Dr. Meldrum. You've got Renee DeHinden, John Green. All those guys were brilliant men. All of them were fucking crazy in one direction or another. But that's why they all come to the Bigfoot. But if those guys couldn't put their hands on one, I don't know if even if you look at the Nawak guys, which are down closer to you, the North American Wood Ape Conservancy guys out of Texas, Oklahoma.
Yeah,
those guys. I mean, those guys. It's big money into that group. That's a big money group. Those guys aren't poor people that have that group, and they go in there and they go in for I think for 3 weeks at a time into their little area. They can call it Area X because they own the property, they have the lease for it. Those guys are a shoot to kill thing, but they haven't been able to come away with anything. They've seen it, and they haven't been able to come away with it. So I don't know. I'm not holding my breath for anything to come out anytime soon. If it doesn't get hit by a truck somewhere up in Canada, right, in the middle of the night, crossing the highway in Rockies or something like that, that's probably the best bet for landing one of these things is it gets hit by a truck or a train or a car or something like that. I mean, that's just my guess.
Maybe it's already happened, just somehow accidentally hidden away or something like that too quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who you call, right?
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, and I would agree with that. It doesn't mean that the government is involved.
Oh boy, here we go. Black helicopter.
Element,
coming to the black helicopter thing.
No, I'm just saying, like, all it takes is one small element of any kind of boots on the ground to be involved to put that fire out.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's been many fires to put out. So it hasn't, whatever's going on there, which again, I think is a boots on the ground thing. It's not the government thing. I mean,
they even finagled that into Expedition Bigfoot. They were somewhere and a helicopter just managed somehow to fly by, right?
Yeah.
Not because they're on the Washington Peninsula where there's a lot of air traffic, right? There's a bunch of military bases. Somehow they turned that into the government was tracking them on the show. So ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what the producers did.
Of course.
They said, we're going with that. Yeah.
And I'm yelling on it. I'm yelling at the show and I'm getting mad at it because it's done well, but it's edited for television. It's entertainment is what it is. So when people get mad at it because it's just entertainment, it's not research, and we have to all remember that. And we're trying to do a little bit more research and a little less entertaining, but trying to make it watchable at the same time.
Dude, that show is made for the general public. That show was never created for the Bigfoot world. But
I tell you, they have a hard time digesting that, man. Merchant will go off on days for that because Mike, if you ever go to his YouTube channel, which is Zen Yeti, he's got some monologues on there where he's gone 30-40 minutes on Expedition Bigfoot. It's classic. He had a lot of axes to grind with that show.
Well, I know, and he talked about it on that show that you guys did with him that I watched last night. But yeah, it's people in the Bigfoot world forget or don't ever even know. It's like these shows are not created for you. They're not trying to pull in what is a tiny percentage of the watching audience known as the Bigfoot world. This is for the general public, dude.
But it's funny because you'll see certain people will know certain people that are on the show, and they'd be like, "Oh, I got a message from him, and he told me it's all true." And what they're doing is they're really trying to tell you that I should be almost as famous as him because I know him and he's on the show. That's what they're really trying to tell you. That's what they're trying to. It's like pissing territory.
I want to be on the show.
That's what's funny is when I asked Merchant, I said, "Would you do that?" He goes, "Yep." He didn't even hesitate. It was classic.
Yeah, that was the thing. He wanted to be on that show, and
he didn't want to be on that show, but he was on $10 Million Bigfoot Bounty.
Yeah, I know.
There were people that said he was jealous that he wanted to be on the show.
Oh, that's right.
And he didn't want to be on the show.
That's right. That's right. You're right. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he made a joke about that, actually.
And that's the thing, and that's the easiest thing for people. That's the easiest way to go. The first place people always go is you're jealous because you're not on the show. It's like I'm sorry, but I'm not, because first of all, it really doesn't pay much, right? And second of all, I can put together a better show than that for 1/100th of the money, one 1/1000th of the money,
right? And it's
right, Sean.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yes,
it's freaking hilarious to me because no one in the Bigfoot world, not one person in the Bigfoot world, has ever been on a TV show bigger than the one I was on. So screw all you.
Oh, here we go with the name
drop. Man.
How long has it been? We've been on for let's see, 73 minutes, and you haven't mentioned it. You haven't done the Walking Dead plug yet. Is that where we're going?
That TV show.
That's where you were going, though, right?
Of course, man. So it's like, I don't care, dude. I don't care if you want a freaking Bigfoot television show.
Don't you have a still? Yeah. Don't you have a sizzle reel of all your work?
No, because I'm not trying to be an actor.
I know, like, you're right. Have it.
Like, you're right. I probably could have put something like that together, and you know.
Why don't you get it to me and I'll edit you a show intro. I'll put a show intro together for you.
Okay. Cool.
It'll kind of look like the Thriller video.
No, at this point, dude, I'm like you. I want to be on the other side of the camera.
It's always easy because I'm too fat to be in front of the camera.
I'm way too fat to be in front of the
camera. It's funny though, because I'll tell a secret. There's somebody went to a conference and somebody sent me a picture and said, "I look too fat. Can you make me skinnier so I can put this on Facebook?" And I did. I have a program on my machine that'll actually make people skinnier, and it looks real. So I took like 40 pounds off of him, and he's totally stoked. I don't know if you know who that is, Sean, but we'll talk about it later.
Oh, so it's somebody who I know then?
Maybe you might know him. I'll tell you later.
Yeah, you have to please let me know.
I think Patrick's talking about me there.
Probably all three of us. I don't care. You're right, Patrick.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't even know who that guy. I think he's a new sub. Right. Hey, somebody time out Patrick Vaughn, please. Just time him out. Just Nikki, time that guy out.
Who's Nikki? She your admin?
Yeah, she's a mod on the channel, and she was at the. You probably met her at the Virginia Bigfoot conference.
Yeah, I met her.
Yeah, Nikki. Yeah. Spelled like Nikki Six.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that was the thing we had. I forget what show it was, but one of our shows, it was MK Davis or Stroyford or one of them. We had to block a bunch of people because the conversation, the comments were so heated. It was so ridiculous. And I love controversy. I mean, what host doesn't love controversy on their show, especially when it's live, you know? So it's funny because I don't watch. When I'm doing the show, I don't watch the chats as much as you do. I need to learn to do that. I watch the private stuff more. So it looks like it's just me and you for now, Sean. Okay. So we took over. We're over to you know what's on right now, Sean, is From Behind Tall Trees with Chuck Larson and Mike Lucci.
They're about 20 minutes into the show.
Yes, it's killing me with Cryptovania guys.
Yes.
It's killing me that I can't be watching it right now.
Yeah, because the show's basically that's your baby.
No, it's not my baby. I just want to see how the two guys do. Look, even Marla left. She said, "Have to switch to From Behind Tall Trees. See you guys later."
Well, that makes sense. Yeah, she's a mod on the channel overall.
Is she?
So yeah, yeah. So she would have to cover the programming over there.
And we're back.
Yeah. What's sorry?
That's right. I gave out your cell phone number.
Oh, cool. Awesome. That's fine. So I'll get like maybe 2 calls. In the next 3 days.
It's a bunch of those extending the warranty of your car.
Yeah. Is on. Oh, okay. I don't know. You guys want to check in on your guys?
I would love to. How do we do that?
I can do it.
Okay.
I can do it.
Can you drop us in? We drop us in so we can watch it, and you can pop it in the screen here.
Yeah. Just give me
this is gonna be sweet.
Yeah,
this will be good. Yes.
Just give me 2 seconds. Hold on.
So Sean, it looks like a Forbes. Me and Derek, I think.
You guys are gonna be able to make it.
Yeah, Derek's
awesome.
moving. Derek, we have a 5th guy that comes out and does a lot of filming with us, and he's a younger guy. So Derek, because he's moving to South Carolina.
That is in 2 weeks.
There they are.
Hold on. Wait, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Sorry. Hold on.
And cameras going dead for no reason. And it's just gorgeous area.
So proud of them.
Wild, and it's got such odd juju to it that, it's great stuff. It's great stuff.
And it has a military base under it, too.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. We don't.
And that's one of the that's the.
God, I wish we could mess with them.
Military base there. Is that a deep underground military base I think so.
What?
It's great stuff.
I'm not sure what these guys are all about. Sean, do you know what these guys are all about?
And
They're from Cryptovania.
and making things,
They did something about paranormal for them as well as
it's good
Bigfoot.
stuff out there. It's really
But
good.
I don't know too much, really, unfortunately. I know we had a last-second change in the guests, I think.
Yeah, I think the other guy was going on vacation.
Well, they're talking about underground military bases.
Well, this is a big step though, because I did the first 10 shows, right? And it's like, listen, you guys got to. So now moving forward is I will do one show a month, and then between Sean, Charlie, and Mike, those guys will put together a show. Between the three of them, I don't know who's going to do the show. So that cut my payload in half, which is great because I got a lot of other stuff I want to do. And as you know, I doing the shows, I try to do a lot of research on the show. I just doing 2 shows back to back with the guys with 4 guys in the group didn't seem even. So now it's a big step because Charlie's doing his first show by himself, and I'm super proud of him. I am. And Sean will know that it's not a bigger fan of Charlie right now than I am because he's really came out of his shell. It's hard because, when the 4 of us came together, the 3 of us first came together in a really weird situation. We were originally going to be working with somebody else, and that person developed a drinking problem. He probably didn't develop it in the course that when we were going to work together. Couldn't get his shit together. So luckily, Sean and I and Charlie just kind of fell into working with each other. Sean brought Mike, so we kind of just really didn't know anything about any of us, and it was hard to get Charlie to kind of find his niche in the group because he wanted to come and he wanted to be a part of the investigations, but he didn't want to take the lead on anything. He didn't really want to do anything. He just wanted to come along for the ride, and that was fine with us. We didn't care, because Charlie's a likable guy. But we felt like, the more, if you can own something, if you can own a part of the CARC and make that part your baby, like with doing the shows and I do the shows and I do the production, and that's my thing. I like that I try to own that as much as I can. And now Charlie with doing the trade shows and the conferences and the interviews with the witnesses, and now it's a big step to bring him out of his shell and maybe make him a little better of a person. Socially for it, I think that's a win-win, and we have fucking Bigfoot to thank for that. Really, I mean, it's a social experiment, and it's great to see him come across and really start to get out of his shell. I make him sound like he's my child.
So yes,
Yes, it does sound like that.
I typed in chat. I said you're live on Squatch Talk right now, too, dudes.
We are all watching.
That's hilarious. And now I can't. Why can't I not?
No, they blocked you.
No, I can't back. I can't back out of it. Oh my god! What? Oh, there we go. Oh, they're showing something.
See, the thing is, I think maybe because Vincent is directing this one, it's not. Unfortunately, we lost Mark Fuller. Mark is the guy who headed up the channel. Beyond explanation, a couple weeks ago, he had a terrible heart attack, and his heart goes out to his family and all his loved ones. It's awful. He died way too young. But his son Bill was directing. His son Bill's not directing it now because he's got obviously too much shit on his plate with his dad, and I think his grandmother's not feeling too well right now. But Vincent is directing this, and Vincent might be on maybe a little bit more on point with the directing than Bill was, because Bill would unfortunately miss a couple of cues here and there. That was a daylight orb. Is that what that was? It looked like a flashlight.
It did kind of look like a flashlight, but yeah, it looked like a flashlight with looking through night vision, like good night vision.
You know what I noticed too there, Sean? Look at Mike's backdrop. Mike's got a clean black backdrop.
Yes, he does.
That's very impressive. What is that?
Now they're like showing something here. Hold on. What is it? An orb.
Sean, you're an orb fan. What is that?
Well, my philosophy on orbs is going to be the hard line approach. Dust, water, pollen, unless it's moving fast, doing something irrational. And
that looked like it was up in the sky, though.
Yeah, that looks like grass to me or something like that. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Which,
Go ahead, Sean. No, I'm sorry, Sean. Go ahead.
Well, if it's up in the air, something like that, I really haven't seen much of that. So I tend to believe it probably isn't really as high as it looks. It could be a bug. Yeah, that could be a bug flying through there, actually. Yeah, it's a bug.
Or a bat. It looks like a bat to me.
Or a bat's possible, but definitely not paranormal.
Yeah.
I would never say it was paranormal.
You guys are debunking your own show.
Yeah, well,
I
of course.
Well, they're the guests, though.
Yeah, but this is we're doing the play-by-play. This is a night full of CARC, the cavalcade of CARC tonight. But yeah, right. I mean, Sean, you're dead right. That to me, that looks like a bat. That definitely looks like a bat.
It's definitely not a ghost.
Type that in, will you? Can you type that in, Pat?
Yeah.
Sean Wagner says that's a bat.
Okay, hold on.
Stop wasting the viewer's time.
Yeah, you can say I said it as well.
Exactly. That's what I said.
It's definitely not a ghost or
calls that a bat
or paranormal.
Says just. Yeah.
I wish I. It's
That's true. It's true. That's probably what it is.
There's no way. The way that flies, there's no way. If they're talking about that as a ghost, there's no freaking way.
So right, let's see if they hold on. Let's see if they do it.
I'm not really too familiar with orbs and things like that.
Charlie needs his glasses or something.
Those two examples you guys showed us, I know you touched on some things just now, but can you get into a little more detail on what the qualities about them that gives you reason to believe those are like legitimate orbs and not like a lens flare or like a trick of light or something like that? Okay. When you look at
your dude's being skeptical, I like.
What's funny is Mike's wearing headphones today too. The last 3 shows he's been on with me, he hasn't worn headphones. He's just been playing the echo game with the microphone, and now he's got a black backdrop and headphones.
Information with the
he's got more respect for Charlie. That's good. That's good. They work better together.
Refracting off the lens of the camera, and so you'll be able to see it in relation. In both of those videos, both the daylight and the nighttime video, they are most definitely showing movement that is devoid or not tethered to the movement of the camera or the lens. A lot of times when you take a picture of a sunset, you will find.
That's the other thing we have coming up too, Pat. Is we've got a guy coming up in I think September 21st. He's a trained observer, right? He lives in Australia and he's a trained observer. So he'll tell you with body language and stuff when people are talking. Like, noticed how when Jason was talking right there, you see how he's giving you that pointing, that authoritative nod like this. It's amazing some of the stuff that this guy has showed me on body language and stuff like that. And he's coming on. He did a couple of videos. He did the Marble Mountain Bigfoot video, and he did the Bob Gimlin interview. And he's also done a couple other videos that he breaks down and he says what's really going on with the body language. Is going to be fascinating because the guy's not a Bigfoot guy at all, but he's going to break him down live on the show, the videos on who's telling the truth and who's probably bullshitting.
Can I chime in for a moment?
Yes, of course.
Right now, it looks like, honestly, in my opinion, that's the sun coming right down in front, a reflection on the screen, and that's what they're catching. The sun's like right in front of them. And that's not an orb.
What is that brown thing going across the screen?
It's just that they got the right sun angle where it comes right down at them.
So it's a lens flare.
Exactly. Yeah. That's not an orb. If they're trying to claim that's an orb, I hope they're not trying to claim that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we haven't when we started the CRC, it was going to be 60-40, and I'm hoping that we get back towards that. I don't want to abandon the paranormal because, as you can see, Charlie's feeling comfortable going with the paranormal side over there with the orbs and shit like that. But I think you've got your investigation coming up. Is that this weekend?
That is Friday. We're going to try to go live for a little bit as well.
Now, tell for the people that are watching the show, tell them what's going on. What are you going to be doing?
All right, we're going to be at Hillview Manor in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. It's in Western PA, Lawrence County. I got to double check on the history there because what I thought was the history, the people at the hospital do not want you to reveal because they say it's BS. But either way, it was a hospital of some kind, and we're going to do a paranormal investigation there. And I'm hoping to go live roughly, probably from about 9 to 1, 9:30 to 1:30, or somewhere in that time period. Broadcast live a good bit of the time. I don't have enough battery power and individual things to go solid the whole time, but we'll go off and on that time period. Broadcast live our investigation as well, and people can tune in and see what's happening, and certainly make their comments as well.
And it's sold out, right?
Yes, our investigation is sold out.
So we do have paranormal stuff going on, and Sean has a lot to say about that. It's funny with those orbs, because we've always joked about the orb thing and about the flare light. It's such a
sorry about that.
No, it's perfect, because
I'm tough on that,
and that's what you should be. You should be, because it's bullshit.
Yes,
yeah.
I would agree. I have to look back in and see what they were talking about on tonight's episode, but it didn't. It appeared like they were trying to. Maybe they weren't trying to say it was paranormal, but if it's not, no matter what, from what I could see, from my angle of anyone looking at it, and maybe I'm missing a good bit of the boat too. That's certainly possible, but
Right.
And we do have other things we're working on. We're working on an old prison as well. Actually, that had a fire. We're trying to get in contact with the owner to go there and set that up. And we also have. Slips my mind right now, but there is something else I'm trying to work on to get us to as well. Oh, a former state prison that was also a sanatorium, I believe, of all things, which is kind of odd. It's a combination. It was a prison much more recently. In fact, it just closed probably in the last 2 years as a state prison.
Nice. So it's going to be nice to kind of get, especially as the summer turns to fall, turns to autumn, you get that creepy weather. It's going to be nice to have more of the paranormal stuff. And I'm hoping that we can put some of that product out. Like I said, Pat, we were originally going to do 60-40, 60% Bigfoot, 40% paranormal. It kind of got away from us with the Bigfoot stuff, but Sean will be making up the lost ground with his paranormal investigations.
At least I'm going to make an attempt at it.
Yes.
That's all I can do.
I'll clean it up in editing. It'll all be fixed in post.
I don't think we'll get to 60-40, but even just getting one once in a while is a step in the right direction, because it had been nothing on the paranormal side.
Right. And we have to start somewhere. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And the more we get out there, the more our name gets out. And also, just like we do Bigfoot, we try to find alternative explanations. To make a long story short, we did a house in Baltimore, and the owner had all kinds of claims. By 10 o'clock, we had everything debunked.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, and we were in a bad part of West Baltimore too. There were people killed on the street we were in, literally.
Yeah. Right.
Thank God nothing happened to us that night. But every once in a while, you do look back and go, "Wow, what the hell were we doing there?" And I don't know. You just shake your head and go, "Well, at least we did help the person. That's most importantly on that case." Unfortunately, I think that one of the main people of the household was playing a trick on their family, which is very wrong in my opinion. I didn't have enough.
Yeah.
I couldn't prove it because I needed something to move on camera with that person moving it, and that he was. I'm sorry, I didn't say that word. That person was not there at that location at the time, so they're with their family. In case they're watching, I only said the pronoun once.
He's covering his back. He's covering his back.
Yes.
So Pat, we're gonna have to have you on our show too, right? We're gonna have to return the favor, man.
Yeah, man, I'm down.
And then we also talked about doing a project together. I don't know how much you want to let out of the fill Sean in on that with the public domain. We don't want to give away the idea, do you?
No, I don't want to give away the idea, concept, or principal cast involved.
Yeah.
There
are talks of us working together.
Awesome, that's nice. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, man. Like I'm at this point, dude. I'm nothing more than a drone videographer.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I am. I know how to create drone videos and edit them. And so, like,
Now, what do you have? What equipment do you have?
Well, the drone I use for like aerial videography is a DJI Phantom 4 Pro V2.
Ooh,
So
okay.
it's pretty much top of the line in that series. 4K camera.
Now you can buy a FLIR camera to put on that, right? You can buy that FLIR, that new FLIR thermal.
No, you don't want to Frankenstein those technologies at all. Nope.
Yeah, but FLIR makes one that goes on that drone, doesn't it?
Not for a Phantom 4.
Oh,
no.
I thought they made one that was OEM for that.
No, FLIR. FLIR has the XT2, which goes on a Matrice, DJI Matrice.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, and that's above the Phantom series. That's a more of an industrial type drone. It's bigger.
Mm-hmm.
It's the kind of thing you want to like look at towers with, and it's more industrial. Like so you can attach a FLIR Matrice to a FLIR XT2 to a DJI Matrice. So
for those of you at home,
proprietary.
Yeah,
there's nothing proprietary in the series except for the Mavic. Has there's a Mavic series you could buy that does have a thermal sensor on it.
Yeah, but the resolution on that's really
crap. It's crap. It's crap.
Yeah,
that's why I like the Parrot much better. That you were talking about the Parrot, way better than the Mavic. So for that price range, the Parrot's the way to go.
Yeah, and it's gonna get a lot of use. I mean, it's gonna add so much to our production, because that's really what we were missing. Is I had to outsource drone footage from other people.
Well, dude, I can send you B-roll.
I know, but you got the Georgia pines down there, dude. I don't need all those Georgia pines.
No, it's up in the mountains here. It's mostly hardwoods.
Okay,
so it looks very similar to the Catskills and the Adirondack. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
But if I go south of the mountains, so yeah, if I go towards Atlanta, then it's nothing but Georgia pines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, out on the coastal plains, the Georgia pines grow thick. Yeah, but up in the elevation, which we do have, crazy elevation actually for the
Georgia
area is it's all hardwoods, dude.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it would roll right in to your stuff. So yeah.
Well, shit. I think we're out of here. I got to bounce. My back is starting to kill me. I can't. I love Parrot. Someone killed by Bigfoot loves Parrot. I don't know if he loves a parrot or loves Parrot the drone.
Evidently they do love to Parrot. Yeah. Ooh, hold on. I can't. Where's my? Hold on. I have no. There. Okay, I'm back. Never mind. Go away. All right, dudes. Yeah, let's wrap it up then.
All right.
Any final thoughts?
No, I would love for everybody to join the group, the Catskill Appalachian Research Collective, and also Sean's group, which is Central Pennsylvania Investigators.
Thank you, Brendan.
We have a new trailer out. We have the Sugar Run Howl. Sugar Run Howls will be out the end of July. It's a new mini doc live that happened, and we've got a lot of cool swag. We've got free stickers. We've got probably the best logo in the Bigfoot business, which is this bitch right here and that bitch right there, and there. So I really can't thank you enough, Pat, for helping us spread the gospel.
Thank you, Pat.
Yeah, man. And we look, if there's anything we can ever do for you, have you on our show. You can come up here, stay with us. Maybe the first week of October, if you can get away, dude. Come up and
That'd
do the
awesome.
with us, man.
I might could.
Yeah, seriously.
I might could. Yeah.
What we did last time is we were struggling and doing the freaking camping, and then we realized that we'll do it in the fall. We get an Airbnb that's right on the corner of the park, and then we have a sane place for people to base camp, so you're not killing each other for 3 or 4 days camping in the shitty wet rain. And it made a much pleasant time when you could come out of you don't have to camp to find Bigfoot. You could do it smarter, and that's what we do that time of year up there in the Allegheny or in the southern tier. We'll probably do that in the Allegheny too.
Awesome, man. And yeah, thanks for being on, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'd love to come do a show with you guys. I know, I can already tell a couple of my panel guys are already wanting to like talk to you, so you guys could actually come back between now and then.
Anytime.
Yeah, if we do a free for all Friday, you're invited. That's just
I'm probably going to have a couple drinks, so I might be a little. Fridays, I let my hair down, so I know I'm on the wagon because I'm on medication right now for my back. Yeah, I mean, Sean, I don't know if I could speak for Sean, but Sean, you'd like to come back, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to come back. You guys
Especially that you got your MacBook fired up, but I'd love to have the panel. I'd love to talk to the panel. I'd love the more minds, the better, dude. It'd be great.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
The panel's where it's at. It's sort of it's my stride right now, man. Is with those guys. They're such a huge part of the show, man. Like, so you guys can come back and be panel members, whenever you want, man. Just let me know.
Well, obviously we'll get our calendars planned out, and we'll talk. But I'll give you a call in a couple of days. We'll shoot the shit. All
right, cool.
All right,
awesome. Well, with that, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna go ahead and end the broadcast while you guys are here.
Cool.
And all that good stuff. So thanks everybody for watching tonight. Thank you, chat, so much. You. Yeah, it's great seeing you guys again. After getting to hang out in real life and all that fun stuff, but thank you, chat, for participating so much tonight. I appreciate you guys every show, no matter what. If any moderators give you crap, let me know. And hey, if you're watching this and you're new to the channel, you can interact more with me and the rest of the guys on the Facebook Squatch Talk group. So just go Facebook, search Squatch Talk group, and you can find me there. Please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps a lot with the analytics and things, man. It just helps the channel grow, which I do want the channel to grow. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks again, Brendan and Sean, for being on, man.
Anytime.
We'll have you guys back with the panel, and you can be part of the panel, and that'll be even more interesting. We'll take it to another level of interesting.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So we'll catch everybody. We'll catch you guys later, and we'll see you guys Friday night. Thanks for watching.